We're through yet another draft, and once again, according to what the media says and everything you read, all these players are going to pan out. Instead of the 35 or 40 out of a whole class, pretty much everyone is in the clear this time. Welcome back to the two-line pass. Since everyone else is focused on why a player might make it and show off only the plays where they succeed, I'll try to provide a more balanced perspective.
I'm just going to do a quick history lesson.
In 1989, Rouyn-Noranda was the general manager of the New Jersey Devils. They drafted
With the fifth pick overall, Billy Guerin. Oliver Wahlstrom is this generation's version of Billy Guerin, the way he plays the game. This is a very good pick.
I think he's a better goal scorer than Billy Guerin. But Philip Zadina, when I talk about a really well-rounded offensive player, David Pastrnak comes to mind. And for the Detroit Red Wings, they're looking at a player that I think they can really hope to be in their lineup at the beginning of next season.
I love this guy as a player. I really think he's going to be a good NHL player because he plays the game the right way.
Coaches love him. His dad's a scout for the LA Kings now.
Got tremendous vision, tremendous composure. His panic point is he doesn't have one. And he's got tremendous offensive upside. He's got a chance to be a quarterback-style defenseman in the National Hockey League. Not an overwhelming physical presence out there.
Rob Niedermeyer has been compared to Rangers captain Mark Messier.
I don't show those clips because I'm going to get everybody right 10 years down the line. I'm going to get people wrong too. But what I want to get right is elements. Well, I want the process to be good, the scouting process to be good. I want to do the right work on it. And if the players don't turn out 10 years down the line, well, that's too bad. I don't wish failure on anybody who doesn't earn it. I hope all these kids play. In case they don't, here might be why. And not to stifle conversation, but I know the blanket statement comments that you get if you cross into not so positive territory on prospects. So here's a little internet disclaimer, and away we go. Okay, next up on Everybody Plays, another Pittsburgh Penguins first-round pick, this time Bill Zonnon, the QMJHL. In the weeks leading up to the draft, I went through and watched about 40 names and made a list on those 40 names. It's not a real list because it didn't come about organically, but I just wanted to see what first-round adjacent players look like. And with that, Zonnon fared poorly, so let's see how this game goes. This is not one I had seen. This is a playoff game. All right. Puck carrier's in big trouble. No chance this is getting to the front. You're not tracking into open ice anyhow. I'd like you to be sprinting to the wall to give this puck carrier a dual option on either board. Let's see. Didn't look like that was going to be the case. At least he's late at best. You can see it immediately. He has one of the strangest skating strides I've ever seen. It's like he's driving the power down into the ice almost. He's pretty zippy, though. I don't care if he skates like Jay Bouwmeester mechanically, but where the mechanics can come in is in the weight transfer and contact balance areas, so you can have a bad stride and be fast. But if you're constantly picking yourself up off the floor, it's no good. You can have a good stride and not be fast, but you're ready for anything. You're throwing hits, puck protection, trading paint, staying in the play, etc. So that's what matters. I already don't have any qualms about him getting from point A to point B. That's the easiest thing to do in the sport anyhow. Again, options. It's a left-handed shooter here. He could have an advantage in picking this puck off the boards. I know it's not necessarily where the center usually goes, but given the situation, maybe we would mentally process our way into some help there. This is about as uninventive of a 2-on-2 as you get, but that's life at this level sometimes. Zonnon tracks to the puck in what is otherwise a total bust of his own entry. I like it a lot, especially if there's no help coming. He makes space out of nothing. I'll take that all day. This was a bust. He bought time, and he put it low where it could reasonably be recovered.
Fait dévier derrière Lemire. Lemire joue bien là-dessus, lui enlève la rondelle. Carr maintenant va faire dévier à Véro, mais il perd la rondelle.
All right, we got fine tracking here. Player 2 is late with this, but it's bang bang in a 2-on-5, so it is what it is. Alright, up on the forecheck here. Calculated risk of dive bombing in on a 2-1-2 in this way because the spacing can get a little funky. But once 33 or whatever makes that forehand handle, that's a good time to commit to the end boards. Zonnon goes in there and makes a mess, and it generates a steal, and then he works it out and punches it back to the point. Then not a lot goes down after that. I'm looking at general spatial awareness now, which is always something you look for with over-paced players. Let's see how that pans out.
Carr va tirer, ça... Oh, c'est saisi. Steiner, on s'amène à gauche. Steiner, il va d'une fin. Steiner vers Véro. Véro tente une passe devant.
Okay, I know in my earlier sample on him, I had some hockey sense questions. This is a terrific read and react to stop up and maintain the passing lane like that. Crashes the front of the net after the shot, which is great. Ugh, either this Moncton Wildcat is 4'8" or Zonnon sets up really high in the dot. You kind of get a sense of how posturally bad these skating mechanics are. You see it here too with how busy the upper body gets in trying to move your feet. I appreciate the hustle though. Some of that can potentially quiet down with some more core strength, but we'll see. All bets are off with this posture. Very subtle. He appears to take some ice away before going to the wall. This is an early element of position before puck, and he fends him off pretty well in a tough spot. I like that. Another instance of him running into a teammate already in the first period. Nothing really happens on the next two shifts here other than D-zone face-off losses.
Qui lui enlève la rondelle et va dégager jusqu'à l'autre bout. Le capitaine envoie vers Sumpf qui rate sa réception de passe, qui doit remettre à Gill dans son territoire, et au même moment la pénalité de Alexis Lemire se termine. C'est Gill qui s'avance, envoie la rondelle dans le territoire des Huskies. Là, c'est Sumpf qui a celle-ci au cercle droit, remet à Smith. Sa passe est ratée. On va reprendre au centre du côté de McKinnon qui retourne la rondelle là, dans le territoire.
Let's see here. Generates speed behind the puck and beats the first man a bit sloppily, and then this has no shot.
Donc, il essaie de dépasser deux joueurs. Là, finalement, perd la rondelle. C'est Côté qui va la reprendre. Côté, sa passe touche Steiner. Steiner qui remet à Higgins. Higgins vers Lemire qui retourne la Higgins dans sa zone. Higgins donc pense que Steiner va reprendre, accepte la mise en échec de Côté et envoie jusqu'au gardien de but Rousseau. Là. Pour l'instant, on n'a pas de nouvelles de Benjamin Brunel là, qui a semblé se blesser à l'épaule en première période. N'est pas revenu dans le match. Lemire dans le match. La mise en jeu remportée par Zonnon. Higgins va prendre la rondelle, maintient l'attaque. Higgins va passer à Steiner. Steiner fin de tir bloqué devant lui toutefois et ça va quitter le territoire. Steiner va récupérer la rondelle, va retourner celle-ci dans le territoire des Wildcats. Et là, on s'en est tiré à bon compte du côté des Wildcats, Christian, parce que finalement, fait cet appel du côté de Johansson. Je veux dire qu'en saison, il n'y a pas de doute, là, mais souvent en série, on n'est pas sûr. Là, c'est Higgins qui voit sa passe interceptée. Là, attention, contre-attaque chez les Wildcats à 2 contre 2. Vidisex va tirer, rate le filet.
Another instance where he worms his way into the path of the opponent going into a puck battle. That's a transferable skill. That's a plus for me.
L'avantage numérique, c'est Véro qui a la rondelle. Véro s'amène à gauche alors que... Oh, il va... C'est reparti pour cette deuxième période. Véro qui envoie la rondelle dans le territoire des Wildcats. Johansson qui fait circuler vers Côté, qui est frappé là, par Zonnon. Attention, le Mercier prend de la vitesse.
On to the second period. Throws a hit for the first time. Let's see. Nothing happens for a while.
Lui, là, il va aller reprendre derrière le filet. Frappé par Dufresne. Véro récupère, passe à Steiner. Steiner qui envoie plus loin. Là, c'est Gill qui lui enlève. Véro essaie de reprendre. La rondelle est retournée dans le territoire des Huskies. Il va faire face à Zonnon. Gabe Smith, là, le grand joueur de centre du côté des Wildcats. Higgins frappé justement par Smith dans le coin de la patinoire. Mais belle bataille de Higgins. Fortier-Gendron qui est là aussi. Véro. La rondelle qui semble coincée. Finalement, beau jeu d'Higgins qui remet avec le patin à Véro. Là. Steiner à la ligne bleue. Il va d'un tir. Ça est bloqué devant par Grenier. On tente de reprendre le retour. Et ça retourne dans le coin. Là. C'est le genre de bon chanceux qu'on souhaiterait du côté des Huskies qui atteignent le filet. Là. Zonnon envoie Dufresne à la ligne bleue. Dufresne, sa passe est interceptée là, par Grenier qui fait dévier.
Little bump in the middle, part of the shift. Pretty good read and react here. This D-man is very prone. He hardly breaks stride in figuring this out and goes after the biggest threat. I'm good with that. He's going to try to cut against the grain here. It doesn't work out, but the thought process is good. It's a good idea. He doesn't quite sell it enough, maybe. Not the best hands, but no matter. I view this sequence as a positive, even though it doesn't work out how he wants. He doesn't compound problems, and he just bristles the puck away at the end of the shift. That's fine. In my other viewings, I didn't love his routes and angles very much. Sort of a window into that here. I struggle a little bit to find the real purpose in his offensive support sometimes. If there's some doubt about what's supposed to happen, some teams are F2 net drive, some are F3, what have you. I put the onus on the high-end prospect. if you're good enough to be a first-round pick, you're good enough to be the lead dog in solving problems. So we're in a standard bad hockey format of 3 abreast with the puck outside the dot line. So this is a 0. And we're just sort of coasting in covered space in lockstep with the puck carrier. Then this is rotation with the play almost always here, right? But he's not keen on all the open space to keep this play alive. It looks like he was sort of lumbering to the front where there was already traffic there. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Tracks back through the middle, which I like. Better chance to sort things out as it gets more meaningful. To sort if you come back through the middle. He gets a touch before getting knocked off of it, but it's enough to get sudden change rush the other way. That's good. In the middle here with 3 across and back pressure. Looks like he's in pretty good shape. You could probably be a little tighter all around here, but he's in good shape. I was hoping to see that he was sitting on that route and loading the leg to drive on a steal. I don't see that. It's just moderately good, moderately loose gap coverage, which I'll take in the Q especially. He's in there on the support, gets the retrieval. A little bit of a tough break. Puck sort of catches an edge and doinks harder inside than they expect, I think. These are good situations to see mental processor. He slides over and covers for the defenseman that's out to challenge the puck. Fine by me. Tries to maintain body position before puck, which I like. 19 is going to get inside of him, but Zonnon does what he can to make body contact to help neutralize him. I'm good with that. You aren't going to win every race, so do you have a plan for the ones that you lose? And trading some paint there is a good plan for me. Okay, the battle isn't over. Here's a little instance about why the stride and posture can become problematic. Like I always say, the game is made up of all these little milliseconds. The best players steal those milliseconds from lesser players and then use them against them. Zonnon makes a good faith effort to get body position, but he sits very high, hunched over in the upper body instead of sitting down and wider through the hips and quads. So there's that much less ability to protect players sneaking in on the side like this. Less ability to make micro skating adjustments to counteract this because of the stride and posture. Player 19 zips in here and is able to pick him clean. Now watch player 19's right skate. He hardly has to break his path because he doesn't have to go the longer way around. It allows for a clean transaction. It's not like that's Desnoyers or anything like that. That's an average size 10-point QMJHLer up until his 20-year-old season. Exaggerating with one of the best guys in puck protection to prove a point, but balancing it against the player and one of the best skaters in the game in McDavid. Look at the subtleties. McDavid can't cruise straight through here. Check the feet. Bam. Hip wall. High elbow. Wide stance. Left leg out. Elbow back in so that McDavid can't get underneath. McDavid still finds a way to stab it as Crosby pulls the leg quick. Crosby gets even lower. And look, this puck is lost, except because Crosby is so low, he can leverage against the more upright McDavid. So even though McDavid seems set to win this, Crosby out-lows him, out-leverages him, and as a result, he can use McDavid's upright stance against him. He uses McDavid like a stripper pole here and keeps the buck. But everybody, welcome to the stage, cleft bomb, and the second dancer is no match for Sid's posterior. Bam, auto hip wall, high elbow, but tucked. Can't get around me without breaking your stride a little. Can't get under me if you try to cheat. And Crosby cleans up all the tips. Zonnon doesn't have to be Crosby in this regard. Nobody does. The point is the subtle disadvantages of having a goofy stride, posture, and mechanics. So carrying on. All right, White vacates the zone for a line change, so there isn't a lot for Zonnon to do. Elite processor players would stomp this out and kill this with the numerical advantage. Players below that level will just maintain the middle and sniff out the next wave, and then players who have poor processing ability will find a way to create a deficit for themselves or their team. Let's see. Okay, so we're in the good range. He sits middle. Let's White get the change and then sorts it out well. So that's generally fine. I'm a little surprised this isn't tapped up the strong side to 22 here, but I'm wondering if Zonnon felt 22 was tracking away from him and decided against it. If that's his read, then I'm fine with that call. This isn't a great decision either, but it's augmented by sort of a weird bounce right to White 88, which is augmented further by it ending up in the back of the net. I don't know if the cube makes face-off stats public. More importantly, if they split it up by zone. Does Zonnon get any of these D-zone draws that we've seen so far? Center on center, I'll take that because it's reasonably predictable. Either get between him and the net or pull to the front hip so that you can neutralize the stick. Retrieval situation, good sort here. I think I probably undercut his mental processor in my previous viewings. I'm happy about that. Nothing happens early, then we get into a forecheck rotation. I think this is where Zonnon has some appeal, being an F1 energy guy. The skill level hasn't popped for me in any viewings, but the compete does. We'll see him find some soft ice here naturally. I like that. Hot pass here that skitters away, but he keeps it alive with a pull queuing back to the point. Alright, everyone is at the dot line and over, but there's openings here where it could get to the weak side and pull them apart. So let's babysit that. Let's help seal this so they can't generate big speed. Let's see. Blah. He goes to the wall for no reason, and the puck goes right back through the mini layer that he should have been tending to.
Smith, sa passe s'en va vers Lundsbury là, qui va faire dévier sa touche le juge de ligne. Saint-Laurent, il va une belle passe à Véro. Là. Véro s'avance, Véro rate sa passe. Toutefois, c'est Smith qui va récupérer. Là. Lundsbury maintenant récupère la rondelle.
Que ça se reproduise avec les Huskies ce soir qui ont vraiment dominé là, une bonne partie du match.
Est-ce qu'il reste un miracle aux Huskies cette saison pour revenir de l'arrière 3-0 face aux Wildcats de Moncton? Il reste encore beaucoup de temps à ce match, pratiquement la moitié. Et là, c'est Steiner qui a la rondelle dans sa zone. Steiner va passer plus loin là, pour Véro. Véro qui récupère, essaie de remettre dans...
This looks bad at first, but it's not quite as bad as it appears at first blush. He thinks a teammate is going to be able to chip this out wide, but it's White that gets there first. Now, you can see him in his body language that he has no feel for where this guy is behind them, and then there's a double take to figure it all out. It yields a terrific scoring chance against. I think his deception and manipulation skills are weak. Seam creation isn't really there. A couple of factors at play with that. Some of it is mental. Some of it is pace. A lot of it is his technical ability and handling. Finishing the shift, he's got corner on the D-man here. This net D-man is like, all right, how am I going to deal with this guy going to the net? And then Zonnon just sort of throws it away. And even if you go, well, what's 22 doing? And that's a very fair question. You still have time to shoulder check this because you're kind of loose. Runs into another teammate, and then nothing much to be doing here, but get player 16 a hot cup of tea and a cold compress. Woof, we've all been there at least once.
Alors on reprend là, c'est Zonnon qui va faire face à Vidicek, c'est remporté par Vidicek. Attention, Véro intercepte et Rousseau a fait une mauvaise sortie.
Just misses good contact in the corner here for no obvious reason, but rebounds quick, presents a target. I don't think he felt 33 White coming there. It works out. And then this time a teammate takes him out. Tough spill. I'll be honest, I watched this pass 12 times because I couldn't understand what was happening. Zonnon picks this off like a cornerback in football. It's like Tecmo Super Bowl video game coverage. Remember from the Horkoff video? Low-level players block things, next-level players steal things. This is an absolute gift, but it doesn't matter if you can't make something from it. Oh yeah, little slip past to player 15. Doesn't have to break stride. Doesn't have to go off balance to get it. Excellent play by Zonnon. Activation off the pass. I'd like to see this route be a little more far post, but hey, 15 is probably gonna score anyway. Okay, we're peeling off the wall. Let's get open. Tough to sort it out. Fair job. Not sure there's a plan there. Good job there, here in the corner. I really like this turn against pressure. Well-timed, cycle-establishing pass. Gets it back off the throwaway. This is either one-touch playmaking to the back post, or it's buy time and find second wave offense. If you hold the puck and push everyone down to the lowest layer of the offensive zone, then this ought to go higher instead of being forced. He gets a second chance at it and just bats it into the mess, which is okay, but it's not high-end playmaking.
Le plus fort qui va l'emporter, mais là, j'ai pas l'impression que c'est le cas dans cette série pour l'instant. C'est le talent qui l'emporte.
Oui.
C'est Carr qui passe vers Zonnon, là, qui fait dévier jusqu'au gardien Rousseau. C'est Gill qui va contourner son filet.
This is quite a breakout from White. I don't agree with Zonnon's angle here, actually. I want this to be further up ice. Two reasons. One, better angle on the puck carrier. Two, protect the center lane exit because you don't know what happened behind you. He's flat here, but 20 White kicks the puck right onto a stick for him, so it doesn't flick a shot on net that he wasn't confident in. He holds it, moves laterally, makes a simple, effective pass. He settles in the spot of the left D to let him continue to widen the offensive zone. I like that whole transaction. He's rewarded by getting to stay out there. This is going to go back the other way after a face-off loss. All right, sudden change situation. Okay, neutral zone route on this odd man rush. Let's see him figure it out on the fly. What? Dog, just go up the right side so you don't run into your own teammate's shadow. You give the puck carrier the middle lane instead of leaving him on the wing. You can get nice wide speed hard against the slide of the D-men. Look at the D-man's trajectory. You chose to go into his momentum. That route really dissolves the advantage and it turns into a chip and chase instead.
Jusqu'à côté, au beau jeu de côté qui remet à Mercier avec la vitesse. Mercier s'avance. Là, beau jeu de Dufresne également pour l'empêcher d'aller plus loin. Dufresne reprend la rondelle. Dufresne s'avance.
So wrapping up the second period here, again, no big deal, good backtrack, but again, a little bit the route. Really, and this is actually good defensive technique, but really he should pass this player off to the defense to pick up the guy that's going to end up all alone in the slot, but he's out there working hard, so everyone will just have to work around that, I guess. This is going to be tough to express, but I do want someone that's very competitive, but I don't want to draft a player that earns most of his keep on compete. Yeah, I look to Carl Lewis and Usain Bolt and others, their 85% rule. Like you need a place to go. You're out competing everyone in the QMJHL to produce this, and it's fine. Like from a scout's perspective, it's like, all right, this guy will play because he competes and he has some size and he's a good kid. First couple of shifts in the third or nothing. He falls on both of them hard. The other one is a PK. Nothing happens. He can't get a clear on the backhand here. But from a higher level executive's perspective, you're not thinking, this player type is available every year on July 9th for $1.50. Like, that's how I view it. I got to tell my GM this is worth the 20th overall pick or whatever. You know, evidently you throw one more of those in the fire, you can get a #1 right-handed shooting D-man, and like the Noah Dobson trade. Hard to believe that half of a #1 right-handed D in his prime is a potential fourth line left wing. Power play. My main concern with the Penguins picks that I've seen is that they aren't skilled to a degree that excites me. This is a whole lot of nothing here. He doesn't take any ice. No one seems threatened by this. The initial turn against pressure is well done, and he has that in his repertoire. This won't be popular, but I'm not even sure he's a better puck handler than Horkoff. Like get Zonnon a cutting board here. Look at how far his stick comes off the ice. The puck should slide out the heel smoothly. This looks frantic and not overly purposed, which is a fit for his style. He plays like he's had 10 Red Bulls, and that's nice in some respects. And here, you know, we see it's maybe not so good. The rest of the game is more of the same, basically, and this is already running very long. So I'm going to cut to all of his 5-on-5 assists this year. And listen, not every assist needs to be a Van Gogh, but if we're talking about a legit playmaking center, we're going to need to see some strong pattern of legit playmaking. We're talking skill chaining, we're talking seam creation, just advanced playmaking concepts, particularly off the rush. So let's see what we get. Short handoff, but he makes a space. That's a plus. It's a goalie misplay. If that's actually intended for the far side, it's impressive. I don't think that it was. I think it's for the middle lane, but that's a plus. There's no reason. It's a boards to middle play. There's no reason to be upset. This is a terrific assist, maybe his best. Bobbles this one, but it's salvaged under no pressure really, but it's a nice pass. Face off. Ordinary retrieval. This is just a one-hand poke, but he earns the respect with that net drive. I'm fine with that. He makes that play even if the assist itself isn't that impressive. Rebound. Doesn't appear he should have been awarded an assist here. You know, a net front kick. I mean, that's an effort play. There's a face-off rebound combo job here. Steal, stick handle, area pass combo. That's very nice. It's rare to see him create space with his passes like that. Face off. This is a bobbled bank out that works out somehow. Short handoff that doesn't even go boards to the interior. Retrieval throw that certainly should not have generated an assist. He's like the fourth guy in line to touch that puck. Face-off win. It's a simple hand to the point an hour ago. Effort retrieval. It's not bad. It's just we're talking high-end playmaking. This is a bobble, throws it into feet. What an incredible salvage by the goal scorer. Scissor cycle handoff at the standard. This is one of the better ones. He handles the puck cleanly. He buys time, attacks a bad line change. That's a podium one, even though the finish is uncommonly good. Face off. Good pull off the wall and then find second wave offense. I like this one a lot. That's a very good assist. And then a pretty simple outlet here to wrap it up. So pretty low rates of high-end playmaking there in terms of seam creation and really advanced passing. We see a lot of bobbles still, like we saw in the shift by shift, issues with pass catching in some respects, just standard oversped game traits. There is a lot of effort-based points, and again, that's great. Effort is good. It's very nice and good. I'd like to see some more pace control next year, a lot more focus on the technicals, and keep some of the compete in his back pocket. I like his shot, actually, more than his playmaking exploits anyhow. The stats don't bear that out, but I think he's a better shooter than he is a passer. Seems like an honest, hardworking player and all, but he certainly doesn't look like he projects as a top 6 center. I don't see center at all. In fact, if this ends up being an NHL, or maybe he's a fourth line left wing, that would be my likely potential for him now. But we'll see what kind of progress he can make. Sometimes these compete guys, they shoot up out of absolutely nowhere. And for his sake and the Penguins' sake, let's hope that's the case.